Hello, guys. Hello. Welcome to the stream. So, we're playing Planet Zoo, and I think I'll be completing the zoo. Um, before we start, there's a little back. Before we start, there's a little backstory on Planet Zoo. So, growing up, I loved the zoo. Um, It's always been my coping mechanism. Whenever something is going wrong or going off, my parents would take me to the zoo. So I just sort of built on that habit on keeping it my safe space. And when the game came out, I was totally like, okay, this is my thing. So I started playing it just by myself. I wasn't recording, I wasn't streaming at that time, and just sort of make my own zoo. And I've made countless of different variation of the zoo. Um, I have the old zoo. My first ever zoo wasn't finished. I'm gonna be honest about that. It wasn't finished at all. Then I made another one, made another one. So it's just safe to say that I really love this game, and I've spent about 1,800 hours on it, roughly, more or less. It's about that in that scope. And before I started streaming and making YouTube videos, this was actually the content that I wanted to make. This is sort of like my content. It will be designing Planet Zoo, making it realistic, making it how I want it to be, making it as good as possible, sort of. And but I just never got up to it, and I abandoned the game for a bit, play another, different games, as you can see in my streams and in my uh, YouTube videos. But lately, I kind of want to get into this again. So this is opening up my last park that I did, which I actually did this year. Um, and I wanted to show you all and bring you all along in this journey, sort of completing my zoo. And may this be the first zoo that I actually complete. So, welcome to Sundara. That is the zoo name that I've gotten from Sanskrit, which means beautiful. And I do like the sound. It sounds a bit Balinese. I am Indonesian. Um, so okay, let's get into it. This zoo is, I wouldn't say it want to be inspired anywhere else, or I don't want it to be like, oh, this zoo is based on this country or in this area. I kind of just want it to be, I literally wanted to make my dream zoo. But I have to be honest, it is based in Indonesia. That's where I'm from. And the design aspect of it, it's sort of realistic modern architectural design, I think. So yeah, let's just get right into the park. So this is the whole park. I have made quite a bit of the park. It, as you can see, it's not a lot. It's kind of like an on and off thing. It has gone through hundreds of rendition and like, you know what, never mind, I want to make it this way, you know what, never mind, I want to make it that way. It has gone through a lot of those, and it has gone through multiple design. I didn't like it and I change it, I didn't like it and change it, and so on. So this is what we're looking for. But I kind of want this to be a tour, because the next episode I'll be posting and I'll be streaming will be me basically progressing through the zoo. So let me just bring you along in how I had the idea of the zoo, basically. So this is kind of like the entrance, so to speak. And this is the entrance area where you'd go in either by bike or by car or perhaps by bus, which the idea of it is this is the main mode of transport. People get a feeder bus straight from whatever they are into us, and we sort of drop them off and drop them back. And that is sort of like the whole mode of transportation would be. Right here is where the car park is, because normally a lot of people would want to bring their own car and whatnot. And people could access this by bike, and people also could access this by bicycles. So, so yeah, stay with me, guys. I'm kind of new at this, so I hopefully you'll stick with me. So, right here is where the buses will be, and the design of the bus sort of look like that. I mean, the design of the bus station sort of look like this, and obviously it's very similar, not very similar, it is similar from every bus stop. It's just one of it is just longer and the other one is a bit shorter. So yeah, so let me just show you the inside of this. So it kind of looks like this, and it lights up at night. So you, the idea is you get off by a bus, and you obviously walk into the zoo. It's obviously not done, but it's everything is in the progress, right? And it's sort of also the same as this one, which it has identical interiors, just longer, and obviously make it safe for people. So I put this thing on them, and then obviously, as again, it's just longer. And this is sort of like the where the drivers will be and where the staff of this area will be located. This is sort of like the staff hub. And you have the main pathway from this area, and you have the main pathway going going into the zoo. I have not made an entrance, so this whole thing will be fully decorated, and it will hopefully look nice, like how this is aligned with each other. And this will be the whole entrance area where you spread off into what seems to be inside, no, what's in the zoo. So this will be the main sort of circle, and this is where you get in. I will make gates and that and whatnot to make it look good. And this is sort of like your entrance, and then it'll be split up into different zones. So I am currently still making the first zone, and I don't want to make this. I complete the first zone and I make the second zone. I sort of wanted to just go along with how I want it to be. So yeah. So yeah, this is the car park or the bus park or whatnot. This is where people would spawn in and get in and eventually get inside the zoo. So for the next one, I'll probably bring you along by I'll bring you along by head level height, so you sort of get the idea of it. So this is where we enter the first zone. So this will be the savanna slash desert types of animal. And here's your sort of entry walkway of like you're getting into the park. Sorry, the section. This will be a waterfall system, which I haven't found what I really wanted for this. So it is just sort of left in the open and open for rendition and open for edits and whatnot. But the idea of it is just to make a big waterfall system. And as you enter here, there's a vista, not a vista point, but here is where you sort of realized how big the park would be. Hello, how are you? Hello, military wallet. What's up? How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome to the stream. Anyway, let me carry on with the tour. This is where you sort of, all right, this is a big zoo. Where do I start? Where do I begin? And I feel like that's is what's important when you're visiting a zoo. It's like, oh, I can go to so many different places. Where do I start? Is this it creates that excitement, sort of like, oh, I can see that building right over there, but I want to go maybe in this area, and then maybe I want to go to that area. It's I feel like that's the kid in me saying like, I want to go there, I want to go there. So it's like making you feel like it's such a big place and comfortable and like amazing place that's our zoo. So that's the point. So here you met with the intersection. So you have the main path, and then you have the side path, which you can choose freely. You can in here you can pick to go over here, or perhaps go up and see what's there. So I'm gonna go with the main path, as I explained about the whole idea of this and the whole um the whole thing, and then we'll go to the side path. So that's sort of the path that I'm going to take. So right here, you get to see what's basically around. So this way, you'll see that animal, and this way you'll see a certain animal. I have to admit, I didn't make this. I I took it from a workshop. Hopefully, I can find who made it and obviously credit them properly. But yeah, I took this from somewhere else. So as this, so I didn't make any of the billboards and whatnot, and I'm not shy to I'm not shy to use them. Like, I don't have to make everything myself. That's what I believe, and I feel like if there's already one made and I like it, I could use it. Anyway, here you are separated with two, so you can go to the right or you can go to the left. The whole idea of this is like a circle, essentially, but it twirls you around and bring you around where you didn't think that it would go around. So let's just go this way. Let's just go this way. As you go here, you have another intersection, which I know it's a bit complicated, but I think it's important in a zoo to keep it complicated and sort of makes you want to wander around. Here in the middle, we have a fennec fox enclosure, which essentially is just this. It's just right in the middle, and it's bright daylight like how it is in the desert. And maybe we could. Oh, they're right here. They're just right there. And and this thing, I kind of want to make it like it's almost that you can come face to face with them, but not literally. And I know they're quite shy animals, so I do keep them in like bushes and stuff. So yeah, so this is the Fennec Fox. It is a multi-viewable. So sorry. You can view them in different places. You can view them here. You can view them right here and right there, which we'll get into. And also, we got a little bit of a sneak peek of what this building is, which also enticed you, hopefully. Right over here, we have our caracal enclosure, and this is sort of like the makeshift and pretend shade, which makes you think that you're in shade, but you're not really. But I do think it's a quite a nice design. Let me just go back to standard so it's easier for you to see. So this is sort of like the caracal. So these are the enclosure of the caracal. Again, you can be up close and personal, but also keep distance. And you can literally go around and look at all of these from literally from every angle possible. You can see them walking in, you can see them up there, you can see them getting fed here, going up and down, you can see them sleeping there, and you can see them jumping up here if they want to. Um, you can see them up close walking down this area right here, and then you can see them also going up and like explore in that area. So ideally, I'd hope the guests to sort of like spend a lot of time here and just, be in close enough vicinity, but also in safe distance while you get to really see how they are in the wild. So, yeah. And then you go around in this area, and that's sort of like the end of, not the end, but that's sort of like the right side of the circle. And you can check out another few animals. This is the aardvark, and we have the porcupine, African porcupine. And we're not going in just yet because from above it kind of looks like this. This is how it looks from above, and this is how. Do you remember how I say it's like it's a circle? So you can sort of go from anywhere, but you won't miss anything. You don't have to go back and go around. So this sort of like the flowing path that you can choose. You can go from here and look at this, and it's like, okay, see what's here, and you can sort of go right here and see the fennec foxes and make your way to the sandcat. So this is the sandcat enclosure where you can see how they sleep, and then right here you can go up close with them, like really close, head level, chest and head level for a kid, with a with this with the sandcat. And this is how you get. So basically you also get to sit down. So let me just pretend like we're sitting down, and you get to see the whole thing while also look up close and personal with a sandcat. You can see them above you almost, while also in shape, sort of in shape. So yeah, this is the sandcat, and this is how it looks from above. All right. So what I really like about this design personally, other than it flows naturally quite well, everything seems realistic, like how I wanted them to be. You get this edges, sort of. Is that edges? I think that's edges. You get this nice realistic edge and concrete to stone connection is also quite well. And as you're sitting down, you can look around and like this is, you know, people can go here and like, oh, this is how the animal live, and while also on the other side is an enclosure, and then in front of them is the animals enclosure, if you get what I'm trying to say. So yeah, that is the sand cat. This is the sand cat. And again, maybe a picture above on how everything looks like. I'll give a proper I'll try to do a proper tour in in YouTube as well. I will post them like a proper um tour around the park. So next, so we've seen everything here. We've seen all of this. So let's just enter the big building. So this building is called Suyana. Doesn't have a particular meaning. I just like the sound of it. I think it fits quite well. And it's in and the point of this entrance is for it to be as inviting as possible. You're basically out here with you know, you're basically out here with no shade, and I want it to be like, ah, oh, let's go in there. Let's have a proper shade. Let's cool down. And the whole circle from sorry, the from the moment you sort of walk around here, this is also quite a large thing for you to ignore. You know, you can't really ignore them. Even when you're here on this side, you see them, and then even when you're right here, you see this, and even when you're right here, you see that. So I designed it for it to be as inviting as possible for you to go in, because this is sort of the central piece of this section. So yeah, this is also another angle that you can see the fennec fox. Maybe they're hiding on this area, maybe they're hiding on the other side. I try to make the I try to make it as secluded as possible so the animals don't fear the guest, and the same way as the guest also having enough viewing as possible without disturbing the animal as much as possible. And you can also see them from this side. So that's also kind of nice. I really love how this turns out and look. I did spend a significant amount of hour designing it, doing it, scrapping it, doing it, scrapping it. Uh, Try to make it look better, scrapping it, and just over and over and over. And I think this is the perfect sort of how I want them to be. It flows great. It looks great. It looks neat. And oh yeah, we also have another workshop piece put in, sort of act like a zoo directory and an explanation maybe about the biome that they're in, or perhaps an animal itself. So yeah, this is what the caracal is. Oh, these color are specifically made by how endangered they are. So as you can see, the fennec foxes are least concerned, so they are green. And the sad cat is supposed to be least concerned, but they are not green. But I will change it to green. So yeah, I also really like how this is turned out. I I like the idea of having a path, but without an it's I don't like an obvious path. It just kind of blends in with nature a little bit, and that's how I kind of like it. So here we are entering the building. So this building is essentially a restaurant, but also for you to have shade and buy souvenir, buy gift. As you can see, this is where you buy your gift and souvenirs. This will be the restaurant. Um, this is where you order food and drinks, and you can sit around. I'll show you a better angle. Okay, so this is where you buy a souvenir, and this is where you sort of sit and just eat and just enjoy yourself, and just take a cool break. There's a sunken, there's a little um, sunken seating area. So this is how it looks like if you're down here. It's sort of like sunken, and it could be a bit claustrophobic, but I do really like it this way. It sort of separates, whoever's sitting here from everyone else. And here also, I know it's a bit obvious to see from other people, but it's also nice to be having this seat so people would come in and like, I want to sit there, I want to eat that, while also sitting here and looking outside and look around, and you can sort of see everything. So yeah, this is the main food court, perhaps, sort of say. um this is a nice design that I did it. Oh, I believe it's nice. There's a different chandelier work. These pieces are pre-built from Planet Zoo, I believe. I think this is just yeah, lampshade from the game built in, and you know combined together. I just mix and match them and create this like lantern pieces, basically. And it goes all around this central area. Also, when you're down here, you can also sort of look up and like, oh, that's a nice design. This is the cashier area. This is where you buy food. This is where you order. This is where you pay. And right here would be the bathroom. Why, I don't know why that's so hard to say. That's where the bathroom is, and this is this is a little cafe. So if you just wanna, a different angle, or perhaps just coffee and ice cream, this is where you'd go. So sorry, the whole idea is for them to get in, and the ones that are excited can go see the animals on this section, and the ones I'm tired could just go in here, take a seat, and buy some drinks, or the other way around. When after they see the animals, they can walk down here and go in the restaurant, sort of. And these are ATMs. These are also not mine. I think I found this in the workshop, but everything else I did by myself. So this elevation, I did that. The circle pieces also, I also did that. But these are quite simple to make, to be honest with you. Yeah. So yeah, this is another angle of the what it looks from the inside. Okay, wait. Maybe if I go back as in the explore mode, you can sort of see better, because I can also zoom. So right, let's go and see the animals. So here in the middle, we have our meerkat enclosure. It sits right in the middle, and I think it's nice that it sits around the middle, and you can see this design all around. I can actually also show you how it looks like nighttime. This is how it would look like nighttime. Um You can see the meerkat, but also see outside, and it's just like a little cool, um, um, dimly lit room, sort of say. Alrighty, and you can sort of go up here. No, not up here. You can go to the side, and you can go around this entire enclosure. You can go around this entire enclosure. It's a perfect circle. Um, yeah, and they are exposed to the sun. The animals are exposed to the sun, but you're not. That's sort of like the whole point. And up here, you can see the board of the animal information, sort of. And yeah, you can go around. I'll speed this up. You can go around. Oh, sorry. You can go around and be in the same. Go back to the same place where you basically started, and go to the restaurant. But then let's not go there yet. Right here we have one of the biggest attraction in the zoo, which is the lion. Um, you can sort of come in here and get educated with these pieces. And here's where you can watch them get fed. It's not a show. I don't support animal shows like a circus and whatnot, but I do sort of allow them to sit down and have the keeper explain about the lion while also they feed the lions. So that's sort of what that thing is. And here you can see the design of the building. Actually, I'll show you the design of the building quickly before we go back to the the roaming look. So this is how it looks like, and I think it's kind of nice. I'm really proud of this building. Let me just get you around. So it is obviously inspired by a real building out there where it's like up and down, sort of flowing nicely out of wood. So yeah, I just found that a really nice design and I used it here. Um, Sort of take inspiration from it. And here you can see the big enclosure for the lions. There are 6 lions in here. I don't know why they're all boxed. Why are they boxed? That's kind of weird. Unboxed animal. Wait, what? I don't know why they're boxed. Right, sorry. So these are the lions. So you have a variation of like sort of hill like savanna, and you also have the little pond for them, and you'd also have a hill so you can see them from above, sort of like the Lion King type of type of design. So where you can see them from above and also very up close and personal with them. And this is sort of where they can go up and you know up in this lion pride rock sort of. um yeah, and over here you can go in. I mean, you can sort of go in from this and make your way all the way there, but at the same time you can also come from that side all the way here and out this way. Yep. Right, so let's just pretend we're one of the guests and we really want food. And this is also the animal talk or tour. So we do have a tour in the zoo, but I'll explain that a bit later. So this is where you would sort of, oh, you know what? I'll eat And let's say you're sitting down here, and I just feel like it's a really nice like view that you have while sitting down and also eat. So yeah, so let me just skip this. We've seen this. This is where we eat, and also there's a way up. So as you go up, the whole idea is also for you to look at the design of the building, but also you can see the other parts of the zoo. Or keeping that like what, I'm excited, I want to go there type of vibe. So as we go up, we have this statue. This is, I think this is custom, not custom, but I think this is pre-built from the zoo, I believe, from Planet Zoo. I do want to add more design to this. This is not done. So let me just say I don't work in a normal way. I sort of, let's just do this progress, and it hasn't finished yet, but I already moved on and it's to start another project, and then one day I'll come back. So that's sort of how I work. So this is what, not the victim, but this is sort of the result of me abandoning my current project. This is not done yet. This will be information about lions and their what's around them and the biome sort of. Oh, 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 that was kind of what, that's kind of weird. What? Doesn't want to go forward. Oh, malf there's a malfunction. Oh, just go back down. Right. What is that? Why is it like that? It's not allowing me to go. Anyway, um, right here we have the souvenir, so where you can buy bottles. Okay, these are also workshop pieces. These aren't mine, but I really like them, so I took them. So here we have. Oh, here we have. Why is it like that? Just ruins everything. Okay. Here we have our African wild dog section. Um, it's a bit high in elevation above the ground. So I'll just show you how this looks like, so then you can sort of see what it's all about. So if you're down here, you'd see an explanation and who they are and how endangered they are, and you can see a cool design. This is also pre-built from the zoo, I believe, from Frontier, also on the other side as well. And here you have the explanation and the design. Also, I believe I want to say this is from Planet Zoo, but if it's not, it's from the workshop. And so right here, and here you can see the African wild dog, and it's sort of like above. Let me just play this. Right. So you can go over here and look down. You can sort of go on this one and sort of look deep inside that. That's where they sleep. That's where they play. This is sort of like the water, so they can play in the water. This is where they eat. And also you can see the design of the building. So this I try to be as eco-friendly as possible. These are not real. These are pieces from These are pieces from the workshop, so I just put them here to pretend that we're sort of eco-friendly and whatnot. Above, you can also see, the same design as the main building, which is the Suyana building, but also in not in a circular shape. And here you can um, be in a box and be shaded while you look at the animal information and also take a quick look from onto that side. So yeah, so that's the African wild dog section, and that's basically this building section. So let me just bring you above. This is how the building looks like from above. Um, it's in a weird shape, but it is following two circles and a box, essentially. Um, I do enjoy looking at them from above. That's why I put all this like vents and whatnot, just to make it look like it's realistic and sort of natural. Yeah, so this is how it looks like from outside. Oh, yeah. Oh, here is also there's an access from the food area down here. This is the backstage. There's also a backstage tour that allows you to go, you know, a backstage tour essentially. So this is how it looks like in the backstage. It's not decorated quite yet, but I think I'm getting there. This is how the whole backstage area looks. This is where you get their food. Obviously it's not done yet, but this is where they would get their meats and whatnot. And this is sort of like the animal hub. There's two animal hubs. Sorry, yeah, there are two uh, animal hubs. There's one in this building and another building that I will eventually show. So yeah, that is Suyana. Right, and from Suyana, you go out and you feel like you want to explore more. And obviously, there is more. And I'm also showing you by build order. So I built this area first, and then I go to this area first. Then I make the meerkats. Then I make the lions over there. Then I make a connection as you sort of progress through the zoo. Here, yet again, you meet with two options. They do connect at the end. So, staying aligned with flowing and sort of like you're getting lost, but also you wouldn't miss a habitat. So you sort of see everything. There's a split. It also inviting to go that way over here, but also it's also inviting to go this way. So the first animal in this section, there is an armadillo, which I believe, yep, armadillo, which I believe you can sort of see them up close and personal. They're right there. And it's just this animal sort of hidden right here. And that's sort of like the entrance animal, perhaps. And as we get into what my take on the Grand Canyon would look like, so this is supposed to be like those Grand Canyon walk path, like path through the Grand Canyon. So this is how it is as you walk through, and then it's just high, tight, closed walls next to each other. And here you meet the axolotl. Again, it does split into two, and further on, it will be like a maze, sort of like a maze thing. So let's just take the right path. Here you can see the endangered axolotls, and then another enclosure for the axolotls. And then Right here, you have the Gila monster. So the idea is like it's it carved in, it carved through the rock, and there's an enclosure. So I think I really like that design. And another one here, which is a desert horned viper, which is, there's one right there. Yep. So, and right here, the whole design of this place is sort of like a maze. So I kind of want to like, make you go all confused of what the zoo looks like. So let me just put you back down. Um, in this side, there's also another point of view, and then there's another axolotl enclosure because we are breeding them and either sell them or release them to the wild. And as we go through this maze maze like area, here is where you can see the mountain lion. So this is their cave. As you can see, one or two or three, three little babies is sleeping. This is their cave. And here, whoop, whoop, I'm lagging. Okay, and here is the mountain lion enclosure. I try to make it look as realistic as possible. So this is what it probably looks like in the Grand Canyon. So I just like to pretend that they do live in the Grand Canyon. Maybe they do. I have no idea. But mountain lion can pretty much survive anywhere. So it is a rather large, I'd argue, the largest big cat enclosure that we have at the moment. Um, yeah. Here you can. There's a section where they can sort of dip their leg into and then swim right here, and there is a waterfall in the middle, and they could sort of like go up close right here and play with play with the water, and then it'll take you up. So this is basically up and this is basically down. That's what that is. So this is going up. Another interactive section over here where kids could like, play around with this and get educated. And this is where you would see the whole enclosure from above. As you can see, I actually play this, so you can see them walking up. Um, yeah, you can see them walking up. You can see them going down. You can see them up here where they could sleep. So these are sleeping areas. You can see them going up and play right there. Yeah, and you can see them going like jumping up here and get, play in that area. Right. So that's this area, and then you can see the what seems to be a maze from above. As you go down, as you make your way down, wait, I can't make my way down. Let me just go all the way out, down, and go back to the maze. Right. On the right side of the maze, we have Senjana Rambulan, which is another facility like how Suyana is. It's like another facility slash restaurant slash um gift shop area. And you can see, if you're hungry, you can eat up here. So this is ATMs. And as you go in here, there is a receptionist where you could sign up for a tour, get information and whatnot. And here's where you could buy coffee, buy juice, buy drinks. You know, maybe you want to have a drink or two. Um, and on the left side is a gift shop. Again, none of these is made was made by me. All of this, all of these pieces here is found in the workshop. I could tell you what it is after I found it. So these are the workshop uh, items that I downloaded and I put them in a zoo. Though I would say I don't. Um, I would say uh, I pick apart certain pieces like these pieces. I pick them apart and put it how I like them to be, and took some parts out to or maybe replace them sort of. These is sort of like the gift shops, and this is where you would pay for them. Yeah, you have bottles, you have books, you have like plates and whatnot. Um, yeah, and you have coffee and tea, and this is where you would buy T-shirts and all of that. And right here is where you could see the chef sort of make the food from for upstairs. And yeah, and this is the bathroom. It's not well decorated just yet, but I that this small piece do really make a difference of how realistic it would be. When did you hit 64 subs? Actually, don't know I hit 64 subs, dude. GG's to that. Yeah, GG's. Welcome to the stream, Jay. And right here is basically the cheetah. So let me show you from above. This is oh whoa, sorry. So this is how it looked like from above, essentially to give you an overview of what this is, and before I sort of go in there and show you how it looks like from a POV. So not the purpose, the main design point of this is like I want them to make it really long, just like how a cheetah is, so that they could run from one end to another end endlessly. I don't want to make them wide. Like, see how I make this area quite wide and make the lion area wide? I make them long so then the cheetah could really run. Let me just give you an overview of that. And basically, this is okay. Wait, sorry. I'm new to this. Pup. So you could sort of look at that from one end to the other end, and you see them run. Maybe the kids could also like run with them. Actually, that could have been a really nice like interactive piece that I could put in eventually later. And this is you have the playtime or the board to see when the cheetah feeding would be. So as you go here, you have this little cheetah statue, which also from the workshop. I didn't make them. Uh, right here. Oh, there's a show going on right now. Yeah, so there's a feeding show. This is a feeding show. So this is where you would sit down and see them get fed. Um, yeah. So this area is just for that specifically. And then as you make your way back, you could go up and enjoy Senjana Rambulan as a restaurant. Here, if you haven't make a reservation, or it might be too expensive, or you don't want a big portion of food, this is sort of like a buffet. You could get drinks and snacks instead. Well, there's pizza and there's burgers and there's like Mexican. I assume that's a taco or a burrito. You could get that instead. But if you really want food and you want to sit down and eat, uh, relax a little bit before you go on, you could make your reservation here, and table for two, table for one, and whatnot, and then you would get seated in this area, or you could pay an exclusive rate, not rate, an exclusive price for you to sit right here, where kids could look down, and even as an adult, if you enjoy looking at animals, you would love this. So this is where you would see them. Cheetahs are quite shy, so I try to make them as secluded as possible and further away from people as possible. That's why it's like highly elevated. But yeah, this is where you could sit down and enjoy your food, enjoy your desserts right here, fruits and whatnot. There's pizza that you could take, hot dogs, um, nuggets, chicken popcorns, and all that. This is where you get your coffee. Yeah, and then you would make your way down again and continue with the zoo. So, as I said, this is sort of like a maze, and there is two option, and they do meet. So, for example, if you're trying to go from this side first, if you're trying to go here first, you would spend your time here, look at the cheetah, eat, and you would go out from this side, enjoy the mountain lion, enjoy the axolotl, and make your way out here. Same way as if you're going from this side, you would traverse all the way there and then enjoy this, and then go out right here. You go out this way. And the intention is for you to enjoy, not enjoy, but continue that way. But this area is still under maintenance. It's still a rather new zoo. But this is where the fossa will be. So I sort of made that first, because obviously the first rule of Planet Zoo and Planet Coaster is for you to build the path first before anything else. Not the enclosure then the path, but the path first then the enclosure. That's sort of like the general rule or hidden rule of Planet Zoo and Planet Coaster. So this is where you would go see the fossa and continue seeing the rest of the zoo here, which I have not made, but I do have a plan for it already, and it's quite fixed. It's quite certain that I will make it. I've designed them, I've drawn them, I've took inspiration from them. But obviously it's not done yet. So let's just say you go around this upper part for you to come here. But there's also another way actually. So in the beginning I said there's an intersection where you could pick the main road, which what we just went through, and there is also the side road, which is going to connect. So if I take you up here, this path will connect here, and here will connect there. So either way, you won't miss a thing essentially. Though it is recommended to go through the main path before you go to the side path. But who knows? Maybe you're feeling adventurous. Maybe you're feeling, different from people. Not different. Maybe you're feeling a bit, explorative, and maybe you don't wanna take the mainstream route. You can go to the left. So here's what it is in the left. There is, so you go up, and when you're up here on the right, you could see the vista. This like a vista point where you could see what you've been through or what you've missed, where you can see them, and you can see this big building. And on the left, there's a big dome. I will tell you what the dome is in a bit, but let's just go through the park for now. So in this section, you can see. I will scrap this. Actually, I will change this. I will change this with the newest turtle that they put in. The tortoise that they put in. It used to be a prairie dog, and think it's still a prairie dog enclosure, but this will be different. This will be the newest turtle, and right here is obviously the Aldabran giant tortoise. So it's kind of like just a simple enclosure where you sort of lean and look at them. It's just like a simple um enclosure, nothing much to it. I do try to like mimic how they would be in the wild as much as possible, but like judging by that image, that's obviously sand and dirt. So this is sand and dirt. There's a lot of rocks that they could like um forage around, and trees and whatnot, and like mountain, I don't know, big rocks. So yeah, it's just a simple enclosure. And right here there's an entrance to another restaurant slash chill slash cafe. So you can sort of go here and take this route, and you know chill out at the cafe. You could also see route at the back where you could see the entrance, and this will be later on will be a waterfall, but let's just not go to that yet. So that's essentially what it is. And then um right here is the entrance of Komodo Island. So this is what this dome is. This dome is a reptile, not a reptile, but it's a Komodo center. Here in Indonesia, in Jakarta, we have a Komodo museum, and I've been there. I was there just a few days ago, just 5 days ago, and I've been there previously, but I've been there pre renovation perhaps, and I thought I could make something a lot better than that, but post renovation Komodo Museum, brilliant. It's one of the best Komodo museum slash mini zoo of all komodos and lizards and like all that. It's amazing, but this is what my take is. So let me just bring you up. So this is the bird's eye view. Um, it looks kind of nice from above, but this dome is essentially a replica of Komodo Island. Not, I don't make this to be an actual Komodo Island shaped dome, but I feel like this replicate how it feels like being in Komodo Island, which I've been. And yeah, this is sort of like the cafe that I talked that I talked previously, and this is like it's obviously still in work in progress. Like as you can see, I put this thing just to show that it is work in progress. So the whole idea is this will be a nice information center. You can sit down, and if you don't want to go in and whatnot, and you can like buy food and sit down around this area. It will be like a little resting area, so to speak. And this is where you have information, and this is where you could like donate, or perhaps what if you want to join the tour. So this is where you would be. So let's just go back to explore mode and bring you in a POV. So right here we have a a map of Komodo Island, which in Bahasa it would be Pulau Komodo. You have it on both sides. So no matter how you get in or out, you would still see it. So as you go in, you have an explanation. I will change this sign later on, but this is just basically tells you that this is Komodo Island and there's a certificate from it, and there are sponsors and whatnot, and what would the directory of what this area would be. So there are plenty of ways. There are, you can go to the left first or you can go to the right first. Though I would recommend for you to go to the right but not to the left. But before we go there, behind this rock piece, oh whoa whoa. Behind this rock piece right here, here you could see a Nile monitor. This is a quite common monitor, which is essentially that you can, you can enjoy this while also look up the dome and sort of get an idea of what this place is. And you can see them swimming and whatnot, and you could see them, you know, chilling. As you go to the right, this is where you meet our first Komodo pack. I don't know what the pack of Komodos is, but like our first family of Komodos. So I do take a lot of inspiration from Taman Safari, which is the zoo in Jakarta. I do take a lot of inspiration from that, but also again putting on my own twist. And here you would see the information on Komodo Island, and around Komodo Island there's like Pulau Rinca, and then Flores. This is Flores, then Rinca Island and Komodo Island and whatnot. And obviously this is the main. Actually, let me just show you from above first. This is how it looks like from above, where you have one section there and you have another section here. And this is the main section essentially. Let me just bring you down again. So yeah, so this is where you would see Komodos if they're hanging around here. I think they're just going up in this area. This little pond for them to hang out. There's a little play area and sort of food area, so the people, people could see up close with the Komodo, but also be safe. Because this feels like there's no separation, but there actually is. I sort of like that design. And back here, you could see the information on the Komodo dragons. And this is a little peak area for the Nile monitor, so you could also like peek from a different angle. So as we continue down the path, this is where we meet the, I don't know what this section is called, but it's essentially like the other side of the wall. This is where they would like hang out and chill. Take a huge inspiration from Taman Safari, which is the zoo in Jakarta. I took a lot of inspiration from that. I do like the look of it, like this little cave, so that, well, the whole idea is essentially they do have a little cave, but I want the visitor to sort of also feel like they are in the enclosure. So that's why I put this little cave, so they feel like they are in with the Komodos without separation, but there's actually a separation. So you just sort of like blend in nicely. So you could go in here, they could be hanging around here and be like up close and personal. There are some rocks sticking out, so you'd feel like you are in the same place. They could be hanging around in this edge, walking up that bridge, going inside here. Who knows? So this is the other viewing section. This is where you would see them in head hide. So you can see one right there. So let me just play this so you'd get what I mean. So you can be up close. Some people might feel scared because perhaps the Komodo could be right here, but it's just for the people to feel like they are in the same, you know, they are in the enclosure sort of. So yeah, this is another bedding section that they have, and there's a slope for them and whatnot. Yep. And as you go in, this is the desert slash savanna um reptile section. I think you would go in a cave. Here we have a scarab beetle. You can't see them, but they are in here. Is that it? Oh, is that it? I can't see them. They are here somewhere. So these are the scarab beetle. And so this whole entire area is just like a cave, and inside the cave you get these reptiles. And we have the desert scorpion. I think you could see one right there. Um, and next we have the another Gila monster. Oh, very visible. You see one here. You can see one right behind that branch, and you can see one bathing right there. And here, oh, here's also the explanation of like what the rock consists of and whatnot. I took this from the workshop. I think it adds to the whole theme. Here we have the blue tongue skink, which technically speaking is my favorite lizard in a way. I know there are skink, but they are one of my favorite animals. And there they are. They have this weird texture of like a snake, but also little feet like a lizard, and their tongue is blue, so it's kind of cool. And right on this side is the snakes, so you could see the. I think this is the eastern brown snake. I think western diamondback. So this is the western diamondback. We have here is a puff adder, death adder. We have the death adder, and we have the puff adder. Yep, we have the puff adder, and we have the eastern brown snake, one of the deadliest snake in the world, I believe. And we have the desert horned viper, which kind of it's a very nice enclosure. Yep, and this is where you could see the western diamondback. And as you make your way out, this is sort of like the showcase of flora of what a desert would be. It again, it's not finished yet. I've yet to fully decorate it and maximize the space yet. As you can see, there's no guards, and there's no blend between the path and the sand, but we'll get to that later. And again, these trees are not supposed to be in here, so I actually was just putting them here just to see how they would look. I haven't yet to like play around with them, but I will. And as we progress through the stream, I hope you join with me into that, in the adventure of making this whole thing into a proper zoo. So right here also we have another section of the Komodo dragons. This is more like a beach area ish type, and these are the breeding enclosure. So this is where we would rehab said animal and then breed them and or perhaps release them to the wild or help them survive in captivity, sort of. So this is sort of like the breeding slash rehab slash sanctuary part of the dome. So this just goes around in circle. So in the other section we have a Komodo area, and here also we have a Komodo area. And also it goes around up to right here. This is where you would, you know, be up close and personal to it. And also another viewing angle to the monitor that we have. And as you go out from this section, you would go back to the entrance slash exit. This is the place where we started, and this is where we ended. So that's the whole point of it. This is where you could go to the bathroom. Yet, no, not entirely happy with how it turns out. I feel like for it to be a cave, this is too square. I think that's how you say it. I needed to blend in a bit more, perhaps making it look like that a bit more, making it look like it's like, you know, a cave. So yeah, and we go out again. And you could sit down and relax for a sec. So that's basically the whole zoo. I think it took me about a few months to make this. Um, let me just give you a bird's eye view. So here we have the entrance, the car park. This is the car park area. This will be the main entrance, and the entrance will branch out in different biomes. So these are the savanna slash desert, and then over here will be the tropical. Sorry, no. Here, all the way back there, it will be the tropical area. On the right would be the aquatic area. And then far to the left over here later, it would be the temperate, cold, mountainy, temperate, like temperate biome, where you would see the bears and whatnot, the moose, the bisons, the cold animals. So yeah, so that's the whole plan and that's the whole tour. As we go on through this stream, I want to continue making the fossa and this. Oh, sorry, I haven't told that. I haven't yet to tell you uh what this will be. So this will be the common areas. You know, like the big five. Um, you know, like we'd have the giraffes, the elephants. You know, right here, the giraffes, the elephants, the hippos, the rhinos. You know, hyenas, and we have the common animals like the black wildebeest, blue wildebeest, Thompson's gazelle, scimitar horned oryx, the springboks, sable antelope, Nila lechwe, addax, the dama gazelle, gemsbok, you know, those kind of thing. And also, we have another section right at the edge. So, disconnecting pieces here, I will make them bigger and you know, I would put a saiga, a nilgai, you know, all that sort of stuff. And there is one big cat missing off the savanna slash desert biome is the leopard. And it is, as I was making this, the leopard was not added, and it was eventually added. Um, But this is where I would put the leopard. I have not yet to design the leopard yet. I do have to be honest on that. But this whole section would be the leopard. Perhaps we would have the enclosure. So sorry, let me just. Perhaps we would make it look like this as a path. It just sort of connects back. We could perhaps make something like this where you would, you could see around them, sort of like what I'm doing with the fossa. I've, I actually drew fossa there. But yeah, this would be the leopard. I have not yet to decide nor design this area quite yet, but it will be there. I've fully dedicate that spot for the leopards. And for this area right here, um, so the design would be sort of something like how this is. It's a bit flowy and confusing and sort of like spiking the sense of like I want to explore and the adventurous side of people. So it would be like maybe a windy road. Like it goes like that. Maybe it winds down that way. So that's sort of like the plan that I have. The other the other plan that I do have is the African wildlife safari in Kenya and whatnot. But then you're walking. That's sort of like the other thing that I'm contemplating on which one. But I do have the set design, and the next few Planet Zoo stream will be me making that, and obviously filling out this like pieces here. Say I could perhaps put you know a small animal. I don't know, but that's sort of the plan. The plan for today, however, is to make a fossa enclosure, which is right here, and also do this part of the zoo, which I have not yet done, which I've neglected, to be honest. Um, Sort of making it look continuously like this, sort of like with the gravel and like little rocks with a little guard rails all the way here and to that side, and sort of make the staff area not too obvious. So probably like I'll bring this rock thing all the way, maybe like over here, making them, they can peek a little if they want to, but not entirely, seeing what it's all about. So yeah, so that's, and then obviously fine tuning this path so it doesn't look like that and it makes it look like that. So yeah, so that's the plan today. That's what I would do today. Wait. Okay. So let's actually figure this out. Mm, I want to make. Hold on. Why is that so small? I do want to make them. So this is the staff entrance. So that's where I kind of want that to be. So they would go in from here. So it's hard for people to really look. That's sort of the feel, I think. Huh. Or perhaps I could make this whole entire thing a the enclosure. Hmm. Hmm. Hang on. Hmm. Or maybe this could be like a sitting area. Yeah, I could make this like a sitting area. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Let's start with this. I want to make them too pointy. On them sort of like a, like not so much like a ledge, but like a little hill. Yeah, that's a bit better. Yeah, yeah, there we go. Yep. Yep, 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 yep. There we go. Not too high. Hmm. I do like to take my time, so I apologize if I'm taking my time. Yep. Okay. Obo. I don't like this. I don't like this path. Maybe I could. Whoa! It just ruins the whole thing. Oh well. No. I mean that's fine. Maybe if we. Yeah, I think that's fine. People can squeeze in here. I think. Alrighty. Okay, so let's make the habitat. No, let's make the barrier. Uh, where's angle snapping? That's fine. Okay. Null. Where's null? Null, null, null. Null. Okay. So let me just. right. So there's the fossa enclosure. Mm. Mm. Do I make my own glass or do I follow the mm, oh, I don't know if I like glass. Maybe perhaps I make my own glass? Hmm. Glass panel 2 meters. No. Hmm. But the curves would be weird, huh? Yeah, the curve would be weird. It would be like, it's kind of weird. Hmm. Perhaps this? Well, actually, let me try. Okay. Which way? Which one do we like better? I think maybe this one compared to this one. But it'll be like that the whole way though. Hmm. Hmm. I'll make them woody like that though. We could make it fence like that. No. Yeah, I guess we can do that. Um, maybe wood. Is wood weird? Putting a wood. Um, maybe putting one of these. We could. Hmm. I don't know if I fuck with it though. You see, is that better than? Hold on. Or maybe that's better. Hold on, chat. Let me pee. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Hmm. I'm thinking. I'm thinking. I have the design on my head. It's just I need to translate them to Planet Zoo. All right. Ugh. I think I'm okay with this. Is this recolorable? It's not recolorable. I think that's all right. I need to find like a wood. Hmm. These are nice. But I'm afraid it might be too similar. But let's just pretend it's there. It's just real. Can I color these? I can't color them. I need them a bit better. Hmm. That's okay. We'll find them. We'll find them. Arctic wood. Hmm. Oh, it's just a bark panel. We can put bark. No. This might be nice. I can't color them. I want a color like a flexi color one. Indonesian stained timber. Ooh, maybe this would do. No, maybe lower. Hmm, not feeling it. We can keep looking. Definitely not bamboo. Timber. Would a timber be better? I reckon not. Hmm. I'm not feeling them. Ah, you're streaming. Yes, I am. Oh, I didn't reply to your text, did I? I'll check them in a bit. Hold on. We've tried this horizontal wall. Hmm. I'm not feeling it. Hmm. I could make. Can I? Can I though? Uh, I guess I can't make them sort of bridge over here, even though that's what fossas do. Hold on, let's see what fossa, fossa. Hmm. I kind of want to make them look bent inside now, like that. But if I really want to do that, is that the way to go? Wish we could. Yeah, it's getting there. Yep, I like this. How did I do this? Conservation 3D printed. Okay. Okay. Maybe this way. Ah, doesn't turn out how I would imagine it would be. Hmm. Maybe if I change these two colors. Hmm. Kind of difficult. Let's see wood again. No. Okay. Can I get it? Where is it? Hmm. Could that be nice? Hold on. I need to see. Should I make that as well? Should I make something like this? Oh, it could be nice. I mean, yeah, it could be nice. Hmm. I mean, yeah. I'll just put it here for references. Brown painted. Blue breeze round painted. Maybe here. Hmm. Do I like that? Yeah, I like this. Yeah, I like that. Think I'm set with that. Okay. All right, chat. Uh, it's been a short one, but I'll be back tomorrow sooner. So I'll probably start around, like about. So I started at 9 today. I'll start at 6 today, tomorrow, and see where that takes us. I'm pretty tired, pretty beat. I know it's been short, but I'll have a longer one tomorrow. I do have to wake up early tomorrow, so that's why. If not, I'll probably continue. But yeah, that's it for now. And I'll be back in a bit. Thank you guys for watching. It's been fun. Uh yeah. Thank you for watching. Hopefully